And we're live.
Let's talk about it tonight. Mental health and wellness is our guide. Baby, trust me, it's gonna be alright. Guarantee and come chat with me. The chocolate chat with Meka.
Hey, what's going on, girlfriend? How you doing?
Hey, I'm well. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing excellent. You know why? Because you're here. And I'm
Oh,
so
thank
honored to
you.
have you. I know you're so busy, y'all. This is my friend. She's a nurse. She is a holistic doula. She helps with,
Yes.
infertility treatments and conversations of what you can do to have a baby. She's so humble and so sweet. I want to introduce my friend, Miss Tiffany Lewis English.
Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited.
I'm excited to have you here. I'm very humble, like I said, to have you here because I think it's important to discuss our mental health when we're in regards to having a baby or losing a baby or just our situations regarding our relationships, even when it comes to having these children, and everybody is not blessed to just do it like that. So you're going to talk a little bit more about it, right, Tiff?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, before we get into it, I have a song that I'd love to reference. Of course, it's called "A Song for Mama" by Boyz II Men, and we're just honoring. I know you may not see this when it airs, but it is a song for Mama in reverence to our mothers for Mother's Day. We just celebrated Mother's Day a few days ago, actually yesterday, and I think it's important to honor thy father and thy mother. Isn't that right, girl?
Yes, that's right.
So
That's
the lyrics,
Bible.
that's right, Bible, boo.
Yes.
Well, it says, "You taught me everything you've given me. I'll always keep it inside. You're the driving force in my life. Yeah, there isn't anything or anyone that I could be, and it just wouldn't feel right if I didn't have you by my side. You were there for me, to love and care for me when the skies were gray. Whenever I was down, you were always there to comfort me. You will always be the girl in my life for all times. Mama, you know I love you." And I just think that is so sweet.
Yes.
You know why? Because my mama is my bestie. I think she's the only one that could pluck my last piece of nerve just right. But at the same time, she's my confidant and my little bestie. I really truly miss her so much. She moved to Savannah. I don't know if anybody knew that, but she's not here with me in New York anymore, Tess. So you're so blessed to have your mommy around.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, my mom is definitely my best friend. She is feisty.
Oh.
We bump heads sometimes, but it is all in love.
Yeah.
Like everybody call me Little Sin because they like, you act just like your mom, you act just like your mom, you look like your mom. But my mom she really is. She is my best friend. We talk about everything. And I used to say like, oh, I couldn't imagine having like deep conversations with my mom about like sex or anything. But it is like, in a respectful manner.
Yes.
But we literally talk about everything. Like, I really do. That's my girl. I love her.
Yes. Mine used to take trips with me. She invited herself on my family trips.
Yeah.
I would pick
that
her
sounds
up.
like mine.
Yep. She'd be like, "Oh, y'all going to where? I'll be ready." I'd be like, "Wait, who said?" But anyway.
Right.
Public market. That's my girl. Like, we used to just do everything together. And I did feel a little bit of loss yesterday. I did call her and send her some money for her to go to lunch and stuff like that. But it's just not the same when your mama ain't cooking and stuff like that, right?
It is. When I lived in Atlanta, I moved to Atlanta and I stayed for like 9 months. I definitely like talked to my mom. First of all, I talked to my mom all day, every day here in Rochester. But when I was in Atlanta, it was even like worse. And I would literally, if I had a weekend off, I'd just hop in the car and drive home. Like, yeah, I'm about to go see my mom.
Wow, that's love right there.
Right. Listen, and then I would get here and she'd be on my last nerve, and I'm like, okay, I'm about to go back to Georgia.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, you sound like me. I lived in Raleigh for about 8-9 months. It just didn't work out. Isn't that crazy? Right. My mom ended up getting very sick, and I felt like I needed to be here. I didn't want to be that far from my mom.
Right.
So I came back, and guess what? She got better and moved. I don't understand. That is a whole nother story, girl. So I just want to go through our vision here at the Chocolate Chat with Meka. We definitely choose to advocate mental health, wellness, and healing. And the Chocolate Chat with Meka is just a safe space to uplift each other and our community, the chocolate people, if you get what I'm saying, baby.
Yes.
We don't exclude, but I feel like us as minorities, brown people, whatever you want to call it, we definitely like to sweep stuff under the rugs and be the strong ones all the time, right? We need to get off that high horse and get some help if you need help. Okay, so that's why I advocate why I advocate. Excuse me. So I am going to be talking today about infertility and mental health. And that's why I have my friend here, Miss Tiffany. She is a nurse and a doula and a public speaker. And I just wanted you to quickly go and tell us your story. Like, what happened? What made you start Hannah's Heart in fertility?
Okay, so I started, first I started Grace of Hannah Infertility Support back in about 2018. In 2017, right before I got married, I was diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis, where the lining that usually grows on the inside of the uterus grows on the outside.
Wow.
Stage 4 is the most severe stage to have. And because I had stage 4 in the beginning of 2019, I had both of my fallopian tubes removed, which according to doctors, the only way I would be able to carry a baby would be through in vitro. So when we were first diagnosed, it was like 3 months before our wedding. And I'm just like, let's get married. Like, we'll deal with this after, the wedding, but let's just make it through this. So we did. And in 2018, we immediately started meeting with a fertility specialist. And the first thing they do is send you to a support group. And so my husband and I went to support groups, and nobody in those support groups looked like us. Nobody could understand, because, honestly, I never even really paid attention to infertility. I thought it was something that only rich Caucasian people did because they were, busy living their best lives, being actresses and, whatever. Yeah. So I didn't have the knowledge of what infertility was. And so when it knocked on our front door, we're going to all of these sessions, and there's, pretty wealthy Caucasian people sitting in these support groups, and they're talking about, oh, we've just did round 7 and we're paying out of pocket. And my husband and I are looking at each other like, yeah, we don't have anything to say. We don't have any money saved. We don't know what this is. So I started Grace of Hannah Infertility Support Group because I wanted to create what I was looking for when I was going through it. I wanted to give people a safe space and be able to understand, like, listen, I'm going to talk to somebody who not only looks like me, but who also understands the struggle of, I didn't expect this. I didn't save for this. Insurance doesn't cover this. So what next?
Okay.
And so after I created Grace of Hannah, I wanted to do more. I felt like there was so much more needed in my community. And so I took a class to become a certified holistic fertility doula, because along the way in my studies, I found out that so many things that we put in our bodies can affect our fertility. And so I wanted to raise awareness to our community on the toxins that we put in our body that can potentially stunt the growth of our follicles and cause, different fertility issues. And so I took this training, and then I opened Hannah's Heart Fertility because I wanted to be able to help families who maybe couldn't conceive because of stress or lack of communication. I wanted to bring that holistic form to them, because not everybody can shell out $10,000 in one sitting for Western medicine to be able to conceive. So I wanted to create a space that was, 1, affordable, and then 2, that just was like that you get me type of feel.
Yes. I am so happy that you started the group. I am involved in the group heavily. I press like, I follow, I share, do whatever I have to do, because I truly believe in your journey. I actually had an auntie who was 36, and she could not have a baby. She was trying with her husband. I believe it did cause some issues with their marriage, and they ended up separating. Somehow, some way, she ended up having twin girls.
Wow.
I'm not sure if she ended up getting treatments or not. She was kind of private. She actually lived in Erie, Pennsylvania. So we didn't know what was going on. We know she said she was pregnant. So we are overjoyed. We're ready. it was a whole big deal for her because, 36 is considered in our culture kind of late to have a baby,
Yes.
which is dumb. But anyway, and so she ended up having her babies early.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, they were only she had to be like maybe 6 months pregnant when the babies came.
Oh, wow.
So one was born and she was like 1 pound. Maybe the other one might have been like 2 pounds, if that. They were so tiny. And I remember the nurses knitting their little hats for them so they could fit their heads, especially.
Yes.
I don't remember their names. I know they were named after like the Lion King girl. What's the little girl? Nyla, I think. Nyla or something like that. And I just thought they were so beautiful. When she delivered, they flew her from Erie to Strong Hospital in Rochester, New York, because that's how much they wanted to save her babies. Unfortunately, one of the babies died right away. I think she only made it, a few hours. My mom said that she held her on her chest and she felt her take her last breath. And she didn't want to tell my aunt that her baby had passed away,
Right.
But she ended up having to hand her the baby and say, yeah, she didn't make it. So I'm sure that was devastating.
Right.
I don't know where I was. I don't know why I wasn't there. But I guess it was kind of like with the babies being so new and only a little underdeveloped with their lungs and stuff. I think it was kind of like one person at a time, or like a quarantine situation. So make a long story short, the baby number 2 made it a couple months. She got so fluffy and cute, girl. She still was in intensive care, the prenatal unit, prenatal, like whatever the emergency little room is where they had
like the NICU.
Her. Mm-hmm. Yes, there you go. And she was getting fluffy, girl. Her lungs and stuff were developing properly. Yeah, she was doing very well. But eventually she ended up passing away too after like maybe a month.
Aww.
And anyway, oh my, it's saying our time is up. I don't know how. It's about 10 minutes left. Gosh, time definitely flies, doesn't it? But anyway, it's just the fact that she wasn't able to see her babies live and thrive, and she passed away maybe a few months after her babies. I think she just was so depressed and
of a broken heart.
Yeah, I really truly believe that's how she passed away. So real quickly, I'll let you share your story real quick too, also with maybe a couple questions I have for you. I did reference a article on womensmentalhealth.org, and it says fertility and mental health, stress, depression, and anxiety associated with infertility and its treatments. So I just picked a few things out of the article real quick. I want to go through them. The first one said there's an estimated 10 to 15% of couples who struggle with infertility that are at the reproductive age. Does that sound about right to you?
Because it does.
It does about.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
Yeah. I think it may be even less of us, if you get what I mean.
Right.
Are dealing with that percentage. I don't know if that's everybody. I think they said that's across the board.
Right. Yeah. But you know what? Black and brown women deal with it, but a lot of them don't follow through and go to the doctor. So a lot of our statistics are not even recorded because they're just kind of like, okay, that's it. And don't push the issue, especially with secondary infertility.
Especially if it costs so much to treat it, right?
Right.
That can be an issue too, financially.
Yes.
That who thinks like, oh, let me put some money aside for that, like you were saying earlier.
Right.
So, they also said consideration has been given to the association of psychiatric illness and infertility. So basically the stress of the non-fulfillment of a wish for a child can be linked to depression, anger, anxiety, marital problems, sexual dysfunction, and social isolation. Have you had anything real quick that you definitely can relate to for sure?
All of the above. So when I first was diagnosed with the endometriosis, they wanted to stop my cycle. So they put me on a steroid. The steroid gave me mood swings. One of the side effects of the steroid was to lose your desire for intercourse and dry vagina. Like, come on, I'm a couple months in married. Like, this can't be life.
Right.
And so due to the steroid, I gained weight. It put me into a very heavy depression. I would be so mean to my husband because I just felt like it's impossible that you still want to be married to me. I can't give you babies. I don't have a desire to have intercourse, and I am gaining all of this weight. Don't even talk to me. And so I dealt with all of those things, and I would tell myself that I was okay when I really wasn't, when I probably should have started seeing a mental health therapist as soon as I was diagnosed and not 3 years later.
I know that's real. Get right on it, right?
Yeah.
So if you could say anything, like what health changes did they recommend or that you decided with your doula journey did you make in order to help along with your infertility journey?
So at first, I tried keto, and I am just really bad with sticking to anything. So me and keto really didn't work out because I have the endometriosis. Red meat was bad for me, so it would send me into a flare up. Keto was a lot of red meat. Then a plant-based diet was the next diet that was suggested. I still like meat, so I can't do strictly, plant-based. So for me personally, I have just learned if I want to have red meat, I'm going to do it once a month, and I'm not going to overindulge. Maybe I love lamb chops. Lamb chops is a better red meat to eat, so I'll do a lamb chop here and there. I love vegetables, so some days I can sit down and eat just vegetables and not have any meat. If we do eat meat, it's more so of chicken and fish. I'll eat wild caught fish, and I will do organic chicken, but I exercise, I walk more, and I take space and time for myself, because nonstop running because you want to try to cover up and not sit with your feelings or your emotions. So I've learned to set boundaries and say no, and just kind of sit with myself. And the reality is once I sit with myself and I acknowledge what I'm feeling, I can deal with it and move on, and I'm feeling so much better, because I would run so much and eat like, oh, let me grab Burger King, let me grab this, and that was all unhealthy for me. And I was an emotional eater. So once I was able to set boundaries and sit down and say, no, this is Tiffany time. Saturday, I stayed in this house all day, did not come out. And guess what? I snacked on cucumbers. I had carrots. I picked healthier things to eat versus me running and eating all of this junk that ultimately is going to have my blood pressure sky high and have me somewhere looking crazy.
Right. We don't need her in the hospital, right? I can't.
Right.
Jeez Louise. So I saw that you posted something. We got about 4 minutes. About, it says ways to prioritize your mental health, and you said you sat in the house this Saturday, so that was one of them. It said walk, rest, set boundaries, find a therapist. Sometimes you need to talk and sometimes you don't, but that's what it is, talk. You might want to read maybe some self-development and mental health books. You can listen to music or in a podcast, for instance, ours, if you're really good. Find a hobby, paint like you did the other day at your event. And sip, you can reparent yourself. I'm not sure exactly what that means. We can come back and also just say no. What do you think reparent means?
Now that I do not know what that means. Because honey, I can't reparent myself. Okay, I don't know.
Well, I just have one more question before we go.
Okay.
If you could say anything to the young Tiffany, maybe around 18 or so, about this journey, you could talk to her, what would you tell her?
I would just tell her to keep going. Nothing happens without God allowing it to happen. You are put in this place for a reason, and nothing is ever for us. I find that when I first got my diagnosis, it was like, oh my God, why me? Why me? But as I've traveled this journey, I've learned that I've been put in this predicament to be a mouthpiece for someone else. Other people aren't as vocal as I am. I'm an open book. And a lot of people aren't to that point yet. And it's okay. I'm going to advocate for you and stand up for you because I believe in what's right. So I would just tell the younger her to keep going. Don't get discouraged. And in God's timing, it will all work out.
Oh, right. I love it. I really do. I wish I could sit down with little Meek and tell her a couple things too. And it'd be a list of things. It wouldn't just be one. Girl, don't do it. You see him? Walk the other way. That's what you do. Walk fast too. Jog. Him and him. And him too. You know what I'm saying? Dog on it. Real quick, I want to go through the way you can reach Hannah's Heart Fertility. What's your phone number at Hannah's Heart? Do you know it offhand?
Yes, it's 585-470-8621.
And your email?
Our email is graceofhannahinfertility20@gmail.com.
All right. If you want to reach my girl, she is so sweet, as you can tell. You definitely can contact her that way. Find her on Facebook, Grace of Hannah, or right under her page. She probably has a link under her name, Tiffany English Lewis. Lewis English. You're actually English now. My bad. Gotta respect the marriage, honey. All right. So if you want to reach the Chocolate Chat with Meka, you can email me, thechocolatechat@gmail.com, or Facebook. Look us up, The Chocolate Chat with Meka, 585-397-7247. And you can look us up on YouTube under our name at TCM_Meka for Facebook and Instagram, and Twitter. We're at @chat_Meka. Real quick, my last thought that before we go is I have enough courage to do anything I want. And I think that's important for that affirmation, because with this topic, with mental health, it is so transparent. It's so revealing about your past and things you've been through. And it has taken so much courage to tell my doggone business. I'm not the one who likes to share things and be judged. And so I give you credit also, Miss Tiffany, for doing the same thing and telling everybody about your journey and being so open about your journey, and helping other ladies get through it as well. And that's all we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. We love you here at the Chocolate Chat with Meka. And next time we come together, we're going to be talking to Miss Kalina Huggins at The Rebirth of You about domestic violence and our youth. And just know that we love you. If you need us, call us, email us, and get to us, and we will definitely get back to you. Love you.
Bye.